Welcome to Permission to Be Human, the podcast. I'm your host, Mel Finlater, mother, coach, and curator of Permission to Be Human, the company and community. If you're a mom, know a mom, or want to be a mom, and you crave getting out in the world to make a difference, then you're in the right place. This is a space for moms like you to connect with yourself, your purpose, and your big, audacious dreams. Because when you feel your best, you can better you, your family, and the wider world. Let's do this. I'm really excited to share this episode with you today. For the very first time, we have a kid coming on our podcast being interviewed about her life and her incredible experience unlike any other. We have Stella Zanella and her mom Sandy coming on to talk about what it's like for Stella, who's just about to turn 9 just shortly after this release. So happy birthday, Stella.
Happy birthday!
She's the youngest child yoga instructor. How amazing is that? It's so inspirational to listen to Stella tell her story. Talk about the benefits of yoga for both her and her mom and for the kids that she works with, and to really get an insight of what it's like for a kid to do something like that that is not done by anybody else yet. So we get to hear from Stella and her story, as well as hearing from Sandy and what it's like to be a mom and how we inspire kids like Stella to speak their dreams and to pursue them as well. So join in. I'm so excited. Happy birthday to us. It is 1 year since this podcast, Permission to Be Human, the podcast, has come into fruition. That's not even counting the trailer that happened a little while before. I'm so excited that, one, I've made it this far. Being consistent every single week, an episode has come out Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. PST. And you know what? I'm so excited that people are listening, because I really believe in this message that mothering is what's going to change the world. And you moms and you people mothering with big, audacious dreams, we need to support you to be your best self, right? And to have those big dreams. So thank you so much for showing up and listening to this podcast. Whether you've listened since the beginning or this is your very first episode, I am so grateful and appreciative for you being here right now. We have some exciting stuff this week. Every single day, there'll be a podcast episode coming out at 7 a.m. PST. That's just a crazy amount of work, but it has been so worth it to bring this to you. At 10 a.m. PST each day, Sunday to Saturday from May 12th, we will be having a Facebook and Insta Live with really short episodes, but ones that are super tangible, where you have a tool to walk away with to help you get over overwhelm. Get over overwhelm. Because it's hard to dream big when you're still in survival mode. And let's face it, sometimes we're overwhelmed in this life that is mothering, right? So show up on those. And at the end of the week on Saturday, I am going to be giving away 2 pretty incredible prizes. I'm going to be giving 2 coaching packages for Possibility Coaching, where you get to work with me one-to-one and look into what your big audacious dream is and how you can get there. I will support you, I will cheer you on, and I am so excited to do just that. So 2 packages are coming your way for those people who do the following. You need to like the Facebook page, Permission to Be Human. And if you're on Instagram, you need to get on there and follow us on Instagram, Permission to Be Human Coaching. And finally, to really support this podcast, please go on Spotify and rate us and follow us. That will also make sure we get in your in your list. So it shows you when a new episode comes up. And if you're on Apple, then you can go in there and rate and write us a review. That really helps me and the podcast to be seen by more people. So thank you. And yeah, I'm going to, whoever does at least two of those things will be entered into a draw. And on Saturday, I will find some magical online tool to pull it out of a hat and see who wins those two coaching packages. I'm going to add another one on, and I'm literally just thinking of it right now, which is I have a beautiful bookshelf behind me. If you're just listening to audio, you can't see it, but it is lovely and color coded and gets commented on a lot. And I'm going to let you pick your favorite book off my bookshelf and send it to you in the mail. So that's pretty awesome. These books are full of like science-backed tool, positive psychology, inspiration, parenting, strength-based models. There's so much good stuff up there. So I'm going to send you a book that will be a third prize. So hooray, hooray. It's 1 year. Enjoy the podcast for today, and we'll see you soon. All right. Hi, Stella.
Hi.
It's so nice to have you here chatting with me and all the mums that want to listen in on this. So thanks for coming.
Thank you.
I know it's your evening there, isn't it? I think you said it was 8 p.m.
Yeah,
and my early morning. And whereabouts are you?
I'm in the UAE in Dubai.
Wow. Is that where you were born?
No, I was
Or
born in Miami.
okay. And what brought you to Dubai?
My dad got a job here
Uh-huh. Cool. How old were you when you moved there?
about 5, almost 6.
Brilliant. So you've been there for what, 3, 4 years?
Yeah,
Nice. How do you like it?
it's okay because it's a bit too hot.
Is it hot? Yeah. I've never been, but it's on the list of places to experience for sure. Brilliant. So Stella, we brought you on today because you are an incredible young lady. You are, how old are you again? You're 8 and you're about to turn
9.
9. Your birthday's coming out. You're just telling me before we started here that your birthday's just after this is going to come out. So happy birthday.
Thank you.
And you do something that not necessarily every kid does. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so I'm the youngest kids yoga teacher, and I have a certificate and I'm official, and I can teach kids yoga.
Brilliant. What
Yeah.
what what brought you to doing that?
So I just loved how much yoga was. It was so fun and everything. I just enjoyed it, doing it so much. So I would wake up almost a lot of days and start doing yoga.
Yeah, how did you get to know yoga?
So when I was young, my mom taught me yoga, and then I decided I wanted to be a yoga teacher when I was 7 years old. Yeah.
Wow. And what did you have to do to get a certificate?
So I had to do 100 pages of questions. Like I had to read something or like watch some videos, and then they would ask me some questions. And there were 100 pages, but the pages were a bit long, so they took me a while, like a few months. And then I had to do some workshops to get a certificate, like a full, like more certificates.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that sounds like it was a lot of work.
Yeah, it was hard.
It was hard. Yeah, and sometimes the hardest things are the best things in life, though, right? It,
Yeah.
you must have really wanted it to go through that much work.
Mm-hmm.
What is it
Yeah.
about yoga that you like?
So like I love about yoga that I can do it anywhere at any time. I don't need any equipment. I can just do it there. I can stand right there. I can just do it and it can take me as long as I want. I can do it for a few minutes, few like 10 minutes or something, like 30.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any favorite poses?
Yeah, my favorite one's camel.
Ooh, what is camel like? Can you describe it?
So like you have to go on your knees like if you were like sitting up but on your knees, and then
Mhm.
you have to bend back and your hands would have to touch your hips and bend back, or your hands would have to touch your feet.
Wow. I think I've tried that one before and fallen over. You must have a very flexible back, all that practicing you've been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So what does that look like um in terms of teaching other young kids?
So like most of them like most of them also fall over like you.
Yep. What kind of ages are they?
Most of them are like 5 to 9 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you think they think about having a kid teacher?
I just think they have fun. Like they just like they don't even notice or anything.
Yeah, I bet they have tons of fun. That's brilliant. I know when I was telling my 9-year-old daughter that you were coming on, she kind of looked at me like, "What? Really? She teaches the yoga?" She was really surprised. Thought it was really amazing. Brilliant. And like, what is it about yoga that you think does to help people?
So like yoga helps you in all different ways. It can help you become physically and mentally more self-loved for yourself. It's like you
Mm-hmm.
be more concentrated on yourself, not what has happened or what will happen. So you just be yourself at that time.
Hmm. So you're just in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does that do for us, do you think?
So it stops you from worrying less and
Mm.
it keeps your mind focused.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's amazing. I completely agree. And while I might fall over doing yoga, I do still quite enjoy doing it. Just beside me here, I've got a mat on the floor with a little sign that says "Just breathe." And you're right, those moments where you can just be and shut your mind off for a little while and focus on your body really calm me for the day. Yeah. What does the rest of your life look like? What else do you like to do?
So I do martial arts. Um, I know how to knit and I cook breakfast on weekends.
Ooh, what do you like to cook?
Crepes, French food.
Ooh, with sugar and lemon in it? What do you like to put in it?
Uh, Vanilla.
Oh, interesting. Very nice. And so I'm really curious of if we go back to the yoga for a second, how do you make it fun for the kids?
So like I pretend they're doing something like if I say do tree pose, for example, I could pretend they're like trying to stay in that position without falling over. And if they fall over, they have to hold it again for double the amount of time.
So you make a bit of a game of it,
Yeah.
and they like that. That's brilliant. That's a great idea. And what's the funnest poses that you teach the kids?
Probably tree pose or bridge or boat, maybe one of those.
Ooh, what's boat?
So boat is like kind of putting your legs and your body in a V shape, like keeping your legs up and your body up, like to make a V shape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, brilliant. That sounds fun. And do you rock back and forth sometimes?
Yeah, so like you rock them back and forth so they think they're in the ocean.
Brilliant. Is it silent when you're doing yoga or is there anything in the background?
It's kind of noisy when all the kids like laugh and all that stuff.
Yeah. Is there any music going or do you like to keep it quiet? Well, full of giggles.
Sometimes there's music. Like
Mhm.
when we do some songs, we put the music and like it makes the kids like it's like also a game when we put the music
Mhm.
to make them enjoy the yoga more.
Brilliant. I love that. And are there any memories, like a time, a moment in yoga that you can remember that was like your favorite memory?
Maybe when I became a yoga teacher.
Yeah.
hmm
What did that feel like?
Because I was so happy and excited to be like an official yoga teacher just like my mom.
Hmm. Yeah, so your mom teaches yoga too.
Yeah.
Did she come along when you're teaching the classes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Excellent. I imagine that you must have felt really proud after doing all of that work and working so hard towards that certification.
Yeah, I was really proud of myself when I finished.
Brilliant. And what do you think is the most important thing for kids to learn from practicing yoga?
That if you fail, you should keep doing it over and over until you're great at it. You can't stop failing until you've completed it.
That's a really important lesson. I feel like all of us in life need to have that lesson, right?
Yeah, I do.
It's yeah, it's really easy when something is hard and then we don't quite get it right the first time to think, oh, I'm not good at that. I want to stop. But you're saying we should keep going.
hmm
Brilliant. And what's the hardest part for you in pursuing this?
Probably, well, I would say sometimes when like the kids wander off, like
Hmm.
they start thinking other things.
Yep. So trying to keep them focused on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tricky. So I work with kids too. And sometimes I'm trying to work with them on something and they're like, no, and they just wander off the other direction. It can be difficult to know how to get them back.
That's true.
So what do you do?
So I just like tell them it's gonna be funner. Like, if you do this, we can play a game or something, like make it funner.
Okay. Yeah. It must be quite the challenge to constantly think of how to make yoga more and more fun.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And how do you get yourself ready for, you're going into a session and you're thinking we might have some challenges, but it's also going to be lots of fun and giggles. How do you prepare yourself for a yoga session?
I prepare myself by like concentrating on the moment and just make sure the kids are enjoying it. Like, if they're enjoying, it has to be at least fun to be happy.
Yeah. So really focusing on that. That's brilliant. Excellent. Do you mind if we bring your mom in for a little bit now?
Yes.
There's mom.
Hi,
Hi,
very
Sandy.
good. Hi. Thank you so much for having me in Stella.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for both of you for joining this podcast. I'm really curious, Sandy, like what's that like for you to have Stella, your young daughter, say, "Yeah, I really want to do that as well."
Yeah, so honestly, it was kind of, we never thought about it. Like she was always coming with me anyways, like she really enjoyed and she was always next to me. She's very good at it and very connected, right?
Yeah.
So
I am.
yes. So I don't even remember how did we think about having the certificate. She was
Yeah.
already coming with me. She was already helping me teaching.
Yes, I was.
So it was more like,
Natural instinct.
yeah, exactly.
Instinct.
But I've always followed her and never pushed her to do anything, you know, like if she wants, now she wants to pursue like the adult. She wants to do the 200-hour teacher training.
Wow.
And probably over the summer we will
Finish it.
try it. Yeah.
Wow. What makes you want to do that, Stella?
Because I want to be a yoga teacher for kids and adults.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Because twice the more people is twice the more fun.
Yeah, always.
Brilliant. Yeah. So do you teach adults and kids as well, Sandy?
Yeah, I do. I mostly work with moms
Mm-hmm.
and children, but sometimes, you know, I do corporate where I go and teach adults and it's nice. But I like to focus more on moms because I'm a mom and I know how stressful it is. So I really want
Yeah.
to help mothers, especially when you feel burnout. And I do yoga, I do holistic ceremonies like full moon ceremonies, a lot of mindfulness as well, mindful parenting.
Why don't you let me attend the full moon ceremony?
It's late. You're
I'm
supposed to be
late right now.
yes. Next time I'll go. Yeah. So yeah, and I wrote a children's yoga book as well, inspired in Stella
Funny.
and my son. And so that's why I teach children, and it's fun, and they keep me alive and on my toes.
Yeah. It's really beautiful to watch your relationship right now. It's lovely. You know, I
Thank
can tell
you.
that Stella really looks up to you and and
Oh no.
everything that you're learning, you're teaching her about, you know, yoga. With yoga comes that mindfulness and that way of being. It's really
Yeah,
good.
and and it was funny because when she was doing the certification, a lot of times I've told her, you know, what is breathing and why it's so important. But you know, kids, they listen to other people more. So
Mm,
with these teachers, they were saying, and I could see her like really understanding why it is important to breathe. How
yeah.
can we breathe? So I was happy that she was doing it, listening to other people and not just me, you know, like
Sorry.
I know.
Oh, I think that happens all
Um,
the time, Stella. That's okay. But you know what? You were probably like watching your mom do that stuff more than listening. So she was like your introduction, I imagine. To
yeah, and I've been doing it since I got pregnant with
Mm.
her. It was when I started actually doing yoga,
Oh,
and
wow.
It's my fault you started?
yeah, you were my inspiration. I had just moved to Miami and I didn't know anyone, so I thought I want to do something
Really?
prenatal, like a prenatal class of anything. And I happened to find this prenatal yoga class. So it's like I'm just gonna try it. But I've never done yoga before
Huh?
back then. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed, I fell in love. So
Mm.
that's when I started. And then when she was born, I wanted to find a way to connect with her in a deeper level, you know, like of course playing and reading books and everything, but I was like, if it helped me so much during my pregnancy and during when I delivery, because it's where it helped me the most. I was so afraid to having like a natural delivery. I was really like having a hard time. But throughout the months when I was doing yoga, we did affirmations. The teacher was a doula, and we were always repeating affirmations. My body knows what to do and all these things. So it was very, at the end, I tried having her without epidural and anything. So I went from, I'm so scared, I want to have a C-section, to I can do it without epidural and anything. So I knew it was powerful. So that's when she was born, I decided to do the certification for children. But in the beginning, it was just for me and her. But then, of course, my friends started asking, and I started, in the community, and yeah, it just went like I really enjoy it. It was a passion that I didn't know I had.
Brilliant. Yeah, and now you're out there working with moms that could also benefit the way you did, right?
Yeah, 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 and it's scary sometimes, and it's lonely. It can get lonely, especially when you have your first and you don't even know what to do. We live here in Dubai, and most of us, we are expats. It's like 90% of us, we are expats. So we're basically alone. We don't have family. We don't have anything. So anyone. So it's very beneficial for them, like to at least have some sort of stress relief, and just that community, which is so important. That so-called village that you don't have when you are back home and your aunt is there, or your grandma, or your mom. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's this
Yeah,
community.
that community is such an important part. That's one of my strongest values as well. My kids were born in England. I now live in Canada, but my kids were born in England, so we also didn't have that family surrounding us. They would come out once a year for, 2 or 3 weeks. But yeah, so we had to find our own ways to find that community, right?
Yeah.
And we actually did go to baby yoga for a little while with both my
Oh,
kids, but especially my first. And that was really fun.
so
And
nice.
so I partly know the answer to this, but for those who haven't tried, what's the difference, would you say, either of you can answer this or both, between adult and kids yoga?
What do you think?
Mm.
It's definitely, it's playful. Yoga, it's all about playing. Yoga, it's all about dancing and props and scarves, using
They're all basically the same.
it's the outcome is the same and the goal is the same.
Yes.
But you got to make it playful, you got to make it entertainful, and you do have a script. But as Stella was saying, sometimes kids are kids and they don't want to engage, or they don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
Some things that I always tell parents is that the fact that they're there in the room, I never want to pressure the kids to do it. Like, they can stay there. I have books and things so they can entertain themselves if they don't want to do the whatever activity we're doing in the moment. But the fact that they're there and they know that they're in a yoga class, it's helping them create the habit. Because right now, at this age, we want to focus on the habit, on knowing that they're going to a yoga class to help them improve their well-being. So it's not about like making them do it, or like, if you're in another class like ballet or something like that. It's they're already there and they're already learning. Even if they're not looking, they're listening. So let go that stress. I tell them, you don't even think about it. You can do it, and they will follow, and they will,
Yeah.
they will. So the main difference is that it's playful, no pressure. We don't focus on perfection. We focus on creating a habit. And then when they're older, then we focus on the anatomical, like, pose and all these things that their bodies are growing. And but they do the breathing, they do the meditation, they do everything. The outline is the same. It's just a different approach, completely different approach, through music, through singing bowls or breathing bowls, the one that expands, so it can be more visual for them and tangible.
That's brilliant. So this question is, both of you will have an answer to this. So the people listening to this, the podcast itself is is for moms especially, but people who have big audacious dreams, we say. So I'm really curious what your big dream is, and that question is for both of you.
Okay, I start. So my big dream is to have a brand that goes worldwide and help all the kids in the world, one family at a time, you know, that all the kids know what yoga is, know the benefits, and they have the tools to navigate life, the challenges, so they can, when they grow, they will have, you know, all the toolkits if they're having problems with the academics or with a friend or in college when they're going to college, they will know what to do because they already learned. So this is one of my main goals, to every family gets at least like something from yoga. And you?
Brilliant.
I don't know my goal yet.
That's okay.
And it might be one bit at a time. You did say you wanted
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
learn how to teach adults.
Yeah, exactly. 200.
Next step.
That's your next goal. Exactly. Yeah.
So that one could
Yeah.
be it.
Mhm.
That one could be
Yeah.
it. And that's something you can think about too. You know, big dreams. I'm all for big dreams. And then sometimes, so the word audacious that I use means that they might seem like they're impossible, but they're not necessarily. And we kind of, once we say them out loud, we're more likely to take
Yeah,
steps towards them.
exactly. It's like manifesting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like manifesting, exactly. So you can reflect on that one, Stella, what your
Yeah.
big audacious dream is.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so as we finish up here, I'm curious if either of you have a tip for, I'm going to actually ask you both slightly differently. So for you, Sandy, a tips for the mums listening in terms of how to support their kid to follow their dreams, and or maybe both, how to support themselves towards their big audacious dream. And then when your mom's finished, Stella, if you have any tips for the kids that might listen in on doing something that is their dream or that is really hard for them that maybe nobody else has done before. So we'll start with you, Sandy. We'll let Stella
Yeah.
have a think.
So I would say to support kids, first of all, I think we need to invest in that connection so we can understand why they want to pursue this and we can help them more, because it's easier sometimes. Parents don't take the kids seriously because they think they're just blah blah. If I would have said like, oh no, Stella, come on, why you want to do this certification, but I knew how much it meant to her because I am really connected to her and I listen to her and I know that she wants to pursue this. So I think the connection is the most important and the first thing. And then of course listen to them and know that or explain to them that they have to commit. It's something that if you start, this is going to be the process. Are you ready to do it? Will you be able to commit to this, etc. And for moms who they have a big audacious goal, I love it. I say just do it, just because sometimes we just want to wait till the perfect moment to everything is perfect, and years can go by. Like even me, I've been wanting to do, not now, but like the book. I was like, I want to do it. And one time during the pandemic, I was like, I'm just gonna do it, and we'll see how it goes. And it took me a while because it was a pandemic, of course, and I couldn't even sit next to the illustrator, so everything took even double the time because it was back and forth email, and it took a longer time. But I say just do it and see what happens. Don't be afraid. Just jump and you'll figure it out later.
That's brilliant. I love it. What about you, Stella? What would you like to tell the
So
kids
a
listening?
tip for the kids, like for their big dreams, is like not to give up. Like if you want to do this, you might be the first. So you have to do it no matter what. If you want to do it, you'll do it. because time is ticking. Not that much. Only for
Brilliant.
adults.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just do it, even if you're feeling scared, hey?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you both so much for staying up late. I'm sure that was a really hard thing for you to do, Stella, right?
Oh, well, actually, she was very excited.
I know, I can tell. You're very excited about it, Stella. But thank you for doing that and for sharing your message with the world, and anything I can do on my side of the world to spread that further, you just let me know.
Yes, no, thank you, Mel. Thank you so much for having us. And we're excited to hear it right for her birthday. So that's going to be fun. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks.
That is it, folks. This has been Mel Finlater on Permission to Be Human, the podcast. And I am so glad that you have joined us here today, and hope that you have taken away some tidbits that will help you go away, connect with your big, audacious dream, and make that massive impact in the world that you are dying to make. If you liked today's episode, please, please, please like it, share it. Think of one person that you think would also like it, and send it on over to them. Let's get this out there, and more moms feeling like themselves, inspired, dreaming big, and out there being them. Please do head on over to find me on Facebook with Permission to Be Human, or Instagram, or you can even pop me an email and say hello at permissiontobehumanalways@gmail.com. Say hello and let me know that you listened. What did you like about it? I would love to hear. If you didn't like it, I don't really want to know. Just kidding. You can share that if you want. I would love to know, however, who you are. Let's connect. Let's find out what you want more of. I want to hear from you, and I want to make it what would be useful to you. As always, remember that you have permission to dream big, permission to feel big, and permission to be you. You have complete and full permission to be human. For real, you do.